Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the title of this one, we're doing Cork Sport shifter bushings. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the only thing I really have done to my shifter in my Mazdaspeed is a short shifter plate, which is in the engine bay. It really gives it a notchy feel. It's made by Sure Motorsports. Gives it a nice notchy short throw to it. So I'm hoping this is just gonna stiffen it up even more. I'm not really too sure what to expect from these bushings, but they're from Cork Sport, so you know it's a good product. But yeah, let's hop into the speed, take a look at what we're dealing with. Shouldn't be too difficult. All we're really doing is taking off the shift knob, Cork Sport shift knob, of course. And then we're gonna pull up this center console here, then pull up this panel, and we'll have access to the bushings. Unscrew them, 4 10mm bolts, take out the rubber bushings and put in the new Cork Sport ones, and that really should be it. There's not much to it at all, so let's jump into it. So 4 10mm bolts, like I showed, here, there, and there. It's all in a square. You're gonna want a decently long extension. Just gonna remove each of these 4 bolts here. Okay, so all 4 of these, whatever these are, retainers they look like, these slide through the actual bushing themselves, and then the bolt goes right through it to hold the shifter down. So now the tough part is to get these actual rubber bushings out of the shifter box itself. So this is going to be fun. It's kind of hard for you guys to see, it is dark in here, but what I found easiest to get these out is to get a flathead under it and kind of pry each side of it up until you can get your fingers out of there, or get your fingers underneath it, and they'll pull right out. The shifter, or the bushings themselves, are going to be a bit harder, I think, because it's a piece of rubber and it's got a lip around it to hold itself in. So this should be interesting, but I'll show you. It's going to be hard for you guys to see with my hands all in there in the way and everything, so I'll just show you what I do to get them out once I do get one out, and we'll go from there. So here's what I mean by it has the little section to hold itself in. This is the top face of the bushing, and then this sits underneath the shifter itself. What I found is easiest is to take a flathead screwdriver and push in on the rubber until you can push this section of it down through the bottom, and then just reach your hand underneath and pull out from the bottom, and that should do it. So I got 3 more to do, and then we'll get to installing the new Cork Sport ones, which are completely metal, and they've got their washers with them, so we'll see how that goes. All the bushings are out, all the retainers are out, as I showed you. Here's the bushings here. Compare them to the Cork Sport ones. They're much thinner, not nearly as tall. They say the ones with the Cork Sport logos go in this corner and that far corner. So yeah, let's get to installing these. This is how this is going to work. The bushings here, what you're going to do is you're going to lift up the shifter and put this underneath it with the smaller side of the bushing, I guess, up into the shifter plate itself. Try to show you anyway with the bad lighting. So then once you get the bushing in down there, I'm doing that far corner there, you're going to take your washer, and I'm just going to put a bolt in so that when I do the other ones, I'm just going to thread it in maybe a couple turns, just so I can still lift up the shifter, but that bushing isn't going to go anywhere either, because I do not want those back ones to slide down and fall down in my carpet or down on the side of the shifter tunnel or whatever. So still should be enough room to lift up and get the rest of them in, so that's what we'll get to. So there's the second back one. I'm gonna grab another bolt, another washer. Cork Sport supplies the washers, so use theirs. This one's kind of tough because the shifter linkage is in the way, but so now for the front two, the last one with the Cork Sport logo, that's gonna go on this side here, closest to the driver. Actually, I'll do that one last. Take this other one, slide it. This one's gonna be kind of tough. Just take your time while you do this. You don't want to drop any of these down on the side. I'm sure you're able to get them down there, but probably don't want to go digging for them. So third one in, another bolt. If you have big hands, this is gonna suck, just to let you know. It's not the greatest. I don't even have that big of hands, but this kind of sucks. So last one, this one has the Cork Sport logo like I showed. Slide it underneath here, and the last bolt and washer. So all 4 bolts, washers, and new bushings are all in. It says tighten them down to 3 to 4 foot-pounds of torque, so we're just gonna put them just past snug, I'd say. Would be fine. 3 to 4 foot-pounds is not very tight. And then it's really just put it all together. So I'll tighten these down, put it all back together. Guys, so there it is. Not bad at all. Probably took me about 15 minutes to do. Just be careful with your interior pieces. If I had one tip, it was like I said earlier, put your bushing underneath and then put your washer and your bolt through and just thread it in a couple times just so it holds it in, because if you try to put all 4 under without the bolts, they'll just want to slide around and stuff. So I'd recommend that. And in the instructions, it also says you got to unplug everything underneath your shifter casing. You don't have to. Do what I did. Whenever you take this part off here, you can get this part off, take your shifter knob off, obviously, pull it off, and just hang it over the side here like I did, and you'll be fine.